Welcome, everybody, to the Winner's Circle Sports Betting Channel. It's Tuesday, August the 29th. And before we get to our guest, Mr. Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs, just a friendly reminder, folks, if you have not subscribed to our YouTube channel, take a second to do so. You'll see a WC logo in the bottom right-hand corner of your video box. If you're watching on a PC, just click on that. Also, if you're on your mobile device, you'll see a black subscribe button right underneath the video box. Click on that. It's absolutely 100% free. There's no strings attached. There's no hidden agenda, folks. You're watching this because you love sports betting. And if you love sports betting and it's absolutely free, you're going to be privy to some of the best handicapping information on a weekly basis that you'll find anywhere on the internet. Don't forget, go into your YouTube settings after you subscribe and hit that alert notification bell, and it will notify you immediately upon any of our podcasts going up right here on our channel. We are sponsored by Gamblers World. And speaking of Gamblers World, folks, we have a progressive NFL contest that all of you, I know a lot of you chime in with your opinions on games above and beyond what we have to say, and that's okay. That's what makes this channel good. And here's your opportunity to get in amongst your peers and join absolutely free by going to gamblersworld.com or gamblersworld.net. All the information will be right there for you. I could tell you first place will pay off a minimum of $500, depending on the prize pool and the size of the registrants and entrants. So again, folks, a minimum guarantee of $500 for first place, a minimum guarantee of $150 for third place. Second place could pay up to $450, and fourth place will also be paid as well. That is a straight up pool. You pick every game every weekend during the regular season action in the NFL. If somebody has a perfect score in a week, you'll also get paid. So there you have it, NFL Progressive Pick'em Contest. Check it out at gamblersworld.net or gamblersworld.com. All the instructions are right there. Again, 100% free to join and guaranteed prize money. All right, guys, how are you? Jesse, let's start with you. What's going on, my friend?
Well, Ross, I had a pretty good weekend. We had a good barbecue over here with some Wagyu beef. I was listening to some George Thorogood, and it inspired me to get a haircut, but it didn't inspire me to get a real job. So I'm still here with you guys.
Hey, I know. When you love what you do, like my dad used to tell me years ago, if you love what you do, you're not working. So according to that, I know we all love what we do. So by his analogy, we're not working, but we know we are. And speaking of George Thorogood, bad to the bone, Mr. Higgs, how are you?
Well, I was definitely bad to the bone this morning. I was cooking bacon, and I burned a whole pound of it. Like one came out good, the other one I just missed it. So I burnt bacon this morning.
Did you
so
get sidetracked?
Yeah, I was setting up my midday money StreamYard, and I figured I had like 5 minutes. Like I bake it. I bake it high temperature. It was about like 15 minutes. I flipped it. I'm like, all right, I got 5 minutes. And I just got sidetracked. I went in later, and it was
crispy.
Totally unsalvageable.
Crispy beyond belief. Man. Anyway, all right, we're talking college football today, guys. And we're going to be talking. Jesse's going to be looking at Virginia and Tennessee. Sean, West Virginia, Penn State. I'll be looking at Northern Illinois and Boston College.
Real fast, Rob. We didn't even talk about. So I just want to say we didn't talk about our college football. I went 2-2 this weekend in college football.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
I was going to
go ahead. Now that
the cat's out of the bag.
Tell the folks how you did, Sean. 2-2. Go ahead.
So Ohio, I lose the quarterback. So what am I going to do there? Bad. Notre Dame under. Never in doubt. That was an easy winner there. That should have been. What else did I have? UMass, doggy outright, and I had UTEP. Not bad. We missed 3 field goals, 3 turnovers. We don't go for a 4th and 1. So frustrating start for me for college football. But.
Yeah, well, it's you kissed your sister, and I lost my only game this week on Ohio. And I don't need to rehash that because Sean already pretty much covered it. I mean, the backup quarterback comes in, and how this kid was the MVP of the Arizona Bowl last year, meaning the backup quarterback for Ohio, escapes me. because
you thought he'd have a chance because the guy had some starts last year.
Well, he did have some moments in the game. Unfortunately, I mean, he threw 3 interceptions at crucial times of the game. One wasn't his fault. It was tipped at the line of scrimmage, but the other 2 were ridiculous. And they missed a 31-yard field goal to start the second half. They were outgaining them 150 yards late in the third quarter, and still were behind in the game. So, hey, those are the kind of things that happen. You can't account for an injury. You can't predict an injury when that happens, especially when you're not talking Power 5 schools. There's usually a significant drop-off from the starter to the backup, and that certainly was the case with Ohio. Jesse, tell the folks how you did last week.
I was too scared to put out any picks, to be honest with you, or too wise, whatever you want to say. I sat on the fence. I gave out a free pick on Vanderbilt -17, and the Hawaii fans are all over me on Facebook and Twitter saying that I disrespected their team and they're back and all that stuff. I will point out the Hawaii fans, they were losing by 21 points in the fourth quarter. They snuck in the back door, So my one free play was a loser, and it was surprising to me that Hawaii continued to play late into the game when they've got this big home game against Stanford coming up on a short week. So we'll see how that plays out.
And how about that line from a 10 down to a 3 now?
I know. Talk about an overreaction.
Short week on top of it. I kind of like Stanford. I think Stanford's gonna be terrible, but I kind of like Stanford out of 3 there. I think that's a way.
Sean, I looked at Stanford's schedule last year. Where's the bad losses? I mean, they had a tough schedule. They played monster teams. 5 of their 9 losses were against top 25 teams. They beat Notre Dame. I mean, they were 3-9. They were terrible, but they weren't losing to terrible teams. They were losing to good teams. So
I get it's a total breakdown. They got all new coaches in and everything, but 10-3. Oh.
Yeah. I tend to agree with Jesse and Sean. You're basically saying the same thing. I think it's an overreaction. They saw how competitive Hawaii was on the road at Vanderbilt. Again, Stanford isn't predicted to be very good, but they're still a Power 5 conference team. With a lot more success over the years than that at Vanderbilt, but we'll see. It's an awful fishy line move, for lack of a better phrase. So I went 3-0 yesterday in Major League Baseball. By the way, folks, been on a terrific Major League Baseball roll right now, but we'll get to that later when we promo what we got coming up for the week. All right, let's get right to the games, Jesse. Let's start with you. And we're looking at Virginia and Tennessee. It's noon Eastern time start. The game will be televised nationally on ABC. It will be played at Nissan Stadium in Nashville, which is basically still going to be a home game for Tennessee. If you know the landscape there, the proximity between Knoxville and Nashville is probably, I don't know, maybe 10 miles. Correct me if I'm wrong out there if you're more familiar than I am. But the last I recollect when I was in that area. So, Jesse, take it away. It's a big point spread. As we know, if you're wondering why we're covering these types of games, we're trying to give you as much action as possible. And we're running out of options right now because we did all last week previews as well. So if you want to check out the archives over at the Winner's Circle. All right, Virginia, Tennessee, Jesse, Virginia -28 and 56.
Okay, well, I see some parallels here to USC and San Jose State. I gave out the over in that game, and I said there's a few things you can count on in life: death, taxes, and Lincoln Riley having a really good offense and a really terrible defense. And I look at Josh Heupel with Tennessee. I don't know about the terrible defense as much as Lincoln Riley, but I have faith that Heupel can field a strong offense. And the question mark for Tennessee is at quarterback with Hendon Hooker moving on to the NFL and Joe Milton coming in to replace him. Now, Milton didn't have a lot of success in his career prior to landing in Tennessee, but you look at what Heupel did with Hendon Hooker. I have faith that he can do similar things with Joe Milton. And there was some evidence of that in the Orange Bowl when Milton threw for 251 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions against a very good Clemson team. Tennessee was the number 1 ranked offensive in the country last year. I really think they're going to go off for 50 here. I think Tennessee scores early, often, scores fast. The new rules with the first downs and the clock, I don't think is going to affect a team like Tennessee as much as it would other teams. And we don't know what to expect from Virginia. They had to cancel their last 2 games last year. It's a tough spot for Coach Tony Elliott. From what I understand, they've brought in some players on offense through the transfer portal. Their defense is expected to be kind of thin. I think, especially late in the game, Tennessee will allow them to tack up a few points in garbage time. I don't think their defense is going to be able to stop the Vols. So 58 is that what it was? 58?
No,
Ross?
it was 56.
56. Well, even better. So I like the over. I'll take the
All
over.
right. So there you go. Virginia and Tennessee over 56 for Mr. Jesse Schule. Yeah, Josh Heupel, proven offensive guru, going back to his days as head coach at Central Florida, where he put up a ton of points and yards, Sean.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Virginia's a bad team. Their win total's 3.5. It's juiced to the under. They're not going to be very good. I don't think we have a team total listed. I look at maybe an under for this Virginia team total. But back to Milton, this is a guy who, wherever he's been beaten out. I mean, he's been, what was he, Michigan before this? And so he's talented. Maybe he's just in the right system now. Obviously, the offense is going to just sling along here. So I don't hate the over. But I don't think Virginia's scoring that many points. I think this will be much like a USC 50 plus 48. I mean, what can I get a touchdown? I get 10 points out of Virginia. I'd be happy here. I mean, I think they're that bad, but I think Tennessee will put up the points here for Jesse, though. So I could easily see the over, but I might look at a team total under in that one.
Yeah. Again, I'm listening to both you guys, and it certainly lends credence to taking Tennessee as well. I mean, Jesse's talking about some late scores for Virginia and them putting up 50 points or more. You're talking about, Virginia having a hard time scoring. And I agree with both your takes. So, I mean, I would have, based on what both of you are saying, and I trust what you're saying, and you're proven to me, as well as many others out there, I would have a small lean toward laying the 4 touchdowns with Tennessee here. But that's not what I'm going to do on the premium side, nor that's what I'm suggesting to do. The official pick here from Jesse Schule is Tennessee and Virginia to go over the total of 56. All right, Sean, West Virginia and Penn State, 7:30 p.m. Eastern time on Saturday evening. Game will be nationally televised by NBC. Penn State currently a 20.5-point favorite. The total in this game is 50.5. Boy, Penn State looks like they're loaded for bear. When you look at the preseason all Big Ten selections, the preseason All-American teams, a lot of Penn State players seem to be filtering through those lists. Is it overhype, or are they for real in your opinion? And do they deserve to be somewhere around a 3-touchdown favorite against West Virginia?
Well, I mean, listen, you go 11-2 last year and win a Rose Bowl, you're going to be thought of as a good team. But I don't know about the points here. I'm going to look at the under 50.5 here. Now, a lot of hype on Penn State, right? I mean, the running back's supposed to be the second coming of like Saquon Barkley, and you got a highly rated quarterback, sophomore coming in. He's supposed to steal the show. And listen, West Virginia to me is they've really fallen on hard times, right? This is, I think, their 3rd offensive coordinator. Head coach says, hey, I don't know who's the quarterback. So we got a junior who's done nothing. And if he's done anything, it's with a different court. He's learning a whole new system. You have a freshman. They look like a MAC team. I mean, that's something you'd see out of like a MAC. Well, we're going to see what kind of quarterback we have here. Really? Out of a West Virginia, you're a Big 12 school. You don't know who your quarterback is 4 days out? Yeah, not loving that. And again, with the James Franklin, do I trust him to lay 21? This line opened at 17.5. 17.5? Yeah, I think Penn State wins this. 31-10. So, like, what close enough. Like I just can't trust that many points, especially basically a rookie quarterback. Opening game, maybe they're a little slow out of the gate. It'll be not that they're going to do the whiteout thing. It's not big enough game, but it is their neighbor here, West Virginia. The defense is going to be stout. Penn State's defense always very good. I don't know. I mean, the whole hype for them to get to the playoff. Listen, I think Michigan is the team to beat here in the Big Ten, but defense, questionable quarterback play for sure out of West Virginia. And again, new guy busting in. Even if he has a great game, I'm not expecting anything out of West Virginia. They're bad. They're going to be a bad team. Under.
All right. So Penn State and West Virginia under the total of 50.5. Boy, that line jumped right out at me when I saw it, Jesse. When you see Penn State and West Virginia and Penn State laying 3 touchdowns, basically. They are at home. They are coming off, like Sean said, an 11-2 season, which included a Rose Bowl win. They seem to be loaded with bear in terms of talent, and I just am not a Neil Brown fan, so there is no way that I'm going to even suggest taking West Virginia plus 20.5 in this game. Probably going to stay away from this game myself, but Jesse, what do you think of this contest?
Well, I don't know if you guys want to actually break into a full discussion about it, but I think this particular game is exemplary of the new rules with the clock stoppages. And my take from week 0, especially in the Notre Dame game, I thought that was really affecting the I really think that Notre Dame game was destined to go over. I mean, it looked like Hartman was leading the Irish and they were scoring on every possession. But even with that, the clock just kept on ticking, and all of a sudden it's halftime, and we're not there yet. And I think Penn State, I think, is the kind of team that's going to chip away. They're going to a lot of running, They're not really in any hurry. I think they will methodically roll down the field. And what I saw from Notre Dame is it was taking 7 or 8 minutes to get down the field to score touchdowns. Okay. And there just wasn't enough time to go over that number in that Notre Dame. And of course, a couple missed field goals and a couple turnovers on downs. But we would probably expect some similar stuff from West Virginia here. So, but not just this game, but I'm thinking all of week 1, we might see this blanket under trend, like where 70% of unders hit, or the unders 60-40 to the under. If there's no corrections being made by the bookmakers, because it did seem to affect the totals to me, that new rule.
Yeah, and what else affected that game staying under Navy and Notre Dame is Navy. What do they throw? About 3 passes a game. I mean, they're a run-oriented offense. They said they were going to throw a lot of new wrinkles at Notre Dame, and they're going to be a different type of offense this year. I didn't see anything that suggests they're doing anything different than they did with their previous coach. When you run as much as Navy does and you're not stopping the clock on first downs, and they're a ball possession type of offense, and Notre Dame isn't getting any quick strikes, that's what happens, a low-scoring game. So I would keep an eye on the service academies this year, at least early on. Look at the unders in those games, because all 3 of them are triple option type offenses, although Air Force throws the ball a little more than the other 2, but comparatively to the rest of college football, they don't. All right, let me take a look at the game between Northern Illinois and Boston College. Right now, according to Caesars, Boston College is a 9-point favorite. This game goes at noon Eastern time on Saturday. It will be on the ACC network in case you're interested. Both of these teams are coming off dismal 3-9 straight up campaigns, and that includes 2-9 each versus FBS foes. Both teams bring back a ton of experience, but you know what? When you're talking about a ton of experience from teams that had records as good as bad as, I should say, as both of these teams had a season ago, how important is that experience? And Northern Illinois, I'll give them this. They're going to bring back 7th-year quarterback Rocky Lombardi. If you're not familiar with who he is, he was out for all of last year with an injury, was granted a 7th year of eligibility. Wow. and he's the former starting quarterback at Michigan State. So something to keep in mind there. You got an experienced quarterback on Northern Illinois' side. Boston College lost their experienced quarterback that was started for 3 years, and Phil Jerkovich, who initially started at Notre Dame. So might be a little bit of an edge there for Northern Illinois. Fourth-year head coach Jeff Hafley over at Boston College. He's just 1-5 against the spread and 4-2 straight up as a favorite or 4 or greater. While at Boston College, and last year the Eagles were 0-2 straight up in ATS as a favorite. They were only favored in 2 games. They not only didn't cover those games, but they lost outright to UConn and Rutgers in those situations. On the other hand, fifth-year head coach Thomas Hammock, he's kept this team in a lot of games his players have, but as far as a head coach goes, he is 11-2 against the spread and 7-6 straight up in his last 13 as an underdog of 19 or less at Northern Illinois, and all 6 of his straight up losses came by 8 points or less. So again, folks, if Northern Illinois under Thomas Hammock in their last 13 games as an underdog of 19 or less, they've covered 11 of the 13. They won 7 of those 13 straight up, and none of the 6 losses came by more than 8 points. And then my trusted database, any non-conference away underdog like Northern Illinois, who's an underdog of 13.5 or less. They won 6 games or less the previous year. They're facing an opponent like Boston College playing in their season opener. And that team, like Boston College, won 3 games or less the season before. 16-3 ATS for the underdogs in this situation. And not only 16-3 against the spread, they won 11 of those 19 outright. I'm going to go with a small lean here on Northern Illinois, plus the 9 on the road at Boston College on Saturday. Jesse?
I agree. Didn't Rocky Lombardi win a MAC championship with the Huskies not too long ago?
Yes.
I mean, he's a proven commodity. Yeah, and you got to like any quarterback that's got that much experience. And the Huskies, when you say they're returning that much production, I think they're going to be competitive, and there's no reason for me not to like them as a dog catching that many points here.
Yeah, I mean, again, Thomas Hammock, 17-8 against the spread overall as an underdog at Northern Illinois, Sean. And then when you really break it down to, underdog of 19 or less, where they're not playing a Power 5 team that's maybe ranked in the top 25, 11-2 against the spread and wins 7-6 straight up in those games. I mean, is that something you look at or put any stock in? I mean, again, you're talking about a head coach that has teams that are underdogs prepared to play and be competitive and have a realistic chance to win.
I mean, remember like the early 2010s, this team was like in 5 or 6 straight MAC championship games. Like whatever it does, it gets the kids there. They play up to their level or a little above. And in this spot, you're getting, 8, 9 points here, whatever it is, as a nice dog versus BC. Again, Jerkovich is in Pitt right now. I mean, this isn't some quarterback factory from 19. It's not like Doug Flutie's coming through the door. I mean, this is Boston College. To lay 10 points to Northern Illinois is not going to be the top of the MAC. That's your Ohio and your Toledo's and Miami, Ohio, whatever's supposed to win here. This is still a tough team. Good head coaching. Returning starters. 8, 9 points. Sure. I'm with you on the Huskies.
All right, so Northern Illinois plus the 9 over Boston College. Jesse likes Virginia and Tennessee to go over the total of 56. Sean likes West Virginia and Penn State to go under the total of 50.5. Folks, we will be back tomorrow. Just a friendly reminder, all 3 of us covering more college football. And before we get to that, Jesse, tell the folks what you may have coming up this week.
I do have a big game in the Big Ten for Thursday. The Nebraska-Minnesota game. I've got a big play on that. I did put out my preview for Thursday's slate on gamblersworld.net. You can see that video there. I cover the entire slate of Thursday games. And I haven't had a great summer. Coming off a losing day yesterday again, and not happy about it, but really happy that football season's here. I will, I guess, reluctantly remind everybody that I hit 86% of my NFL and college football plays last September. Got off to a perfect 10-0 start to the NFL regular season. So really looking forward to pulverizing the pigskin. So you come and see me at gamblersworld.net or jesseschule.com. You'll be glad that you did.
There you go. Not only that, me, Jesse, Sean, and the other 7 handicappers at gamblersworld.net up until midnight Wednesday, which is approximately about, 36 hours away, a little more than that. $100 off all our football subscription prices. Okay. As of Thursday morning, those prices go up $100. So we've all had a track history of winning over the long haul, and that's what you want to do, folks. Anybody could win 1 or 2 days in a row. Any good handicapper or great handicapper could lose a few weeks in a row. However, the story is you don't last this long unless you win over the long haul, and all 10 of these betting experts over at gamblersworld.net have proven that. So take advantage of that $100 off subscription price in football, whether it be NFL package, college football package, or a combination NFL college football package. Take advantage of that offer. All right, Sean, what may you have coming up?
Oh, I'll have some college football for week 1 officially. I believe I have 14 games up over here at Gamblers World, 8 NFL for week 1. So listen, you know what? I like to sell, we get into cappers and originators and what kind of player you are. I'm a bettor at heart. That's how I fire. Money management key. If you like to bet games, as Ross always says about me, I'm a volume kind of guy.
Yeah.
We grind away. I'm the grinder. These 2 guys up top here over me in the pictures, they're high percentage. Snipers coming in. I fire. I'm attacking everybody. I'm a melee. I'm like the melee. We're old Xbox guys, like hitting buttons, like flailing. That's the way I come gunning. Oh, there's a schedule. Phew, we're firing. Let's go.
Yeah. Well, not only is Sean a volume player, and I appreciate you giving me and Jesse accolades for the high win percentage, but this guy hit 64% of his NFL plays a season ago, which by far was the best in the industry for the amount of, even when you consider the amount of plays he gave you, over 200 plays in the NFL last year. Sean Higgs.
130 and 77.
Wow. Sean Higgs hit 64% of those plays.
As far as I'm concerned, he's given out free money on look-ahead lines. All you got to do is watch.
64% was good. It was probably about 77% in look-ahead lines on Sunday nights.
There you go. And that's another podcast that Sean does over at picksandparleys.net, as well as this midday money show that you can check out over at picksandparleys.net or winningfreepicks.com or at the picksandparleys.net YouTube channel.
It's
all right.
everywhere.
So
it's like a disease spreading.
Anyway, my college football plays, I lost last week, but dating back to last year, still on a very good 18-8 college football run, and I'll be teeing it up this week, guys. So coming at them strong, and I do already have one play up for Thursday night in the Florida and Utah game. Major League Baseball 3-0 sweep last night. Milwaukee plus 110. I had Baltimore on the run line. They win 9-0. By the way, Milwaukee blows out the Cubs 6-2 as a money line underdog. And then I had the Philadelphia Phillies minus 128, 6-4 winner over the Angels. Now on a 28-13 Major League Baseball run since August the 4th. And during that exact time frame, since August the 4th, a 35-16 all sports run over at gamblersworld.net. So, and the best thing about gamblersworld.net, when you make a purchase there, we guarantee, we give you a guarantee, I should say. If you don't win, you don't make a profit, you will be credited back to your account the exact amount of your purchase price. That's good for all single game, multi-game, daily packages, as well as subscription plans of 30 days or fewer. All right, we'll be back tomorrow with Jesse Schule and Sean Higgs. Until the next time, folks. Oh, before I forget, Jesse, the like button.
Yeah, I want to remind everybody out there, you want to take a second to smash that like button.
There we go. Everybody in the house is now awake, and Jesse just went in his backyard, and look at that setting in his backyard now. In any event, yeah, just a small token of your appreciation for the time and the effort we put into our presentations and this show, folks. Hit that like button. We don't ask for much. Doesn't cost you anything to do that either. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget, get into that NFL progressive pick contest. Go to gamblersworld.net. All the details right there. We're paying the top 4 people and guaranteed prize money of minimum $500 to the first place finishers. So, and it's free. You all have opinions out there. We've heard them. We've read them. And now you have your opportunity to put your money where your mouth is in any event. Until the next time, for Ross Benjamin, Jesse Schule, and Sean Higgs, take care and God bless, folks.